I'm Tom Lemons, and this is a special report.
The adult film industry is one of the most alluring professions to young women and men seeking a lucrative career. But for some, the emotional damage caused in only a few short years is too much to bear. We sat down with former adult film star Amber Collard, who told us how she left the industry and has a message to anyone considering a career in pornography.
Hi, I'm Tom Lemons, and this is an Our News special report. We're here with Amber Collard, who's going to tell us a little bit about her life in the adult film industry and how she escaped that and is now living a much more respectful life. Amber, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Tell me a little bit about how you grew up.
Well, I grew up in Kentucky, was a total country girl. Moved here to Florida when I was 9 years old. Parents divorced at 13, but I was really big into sports and school activities and just being a leader and someone that people could talk to and look up to.
So people looked up to you as a young adult, as a child, really? You were involved in sports, right, quite a bit. I saw some images of you playing soccer and football.
Yeah.
So tell us, did you love that? Was that one of your favorite things?
Yeah, absolutely loved it. Went to school and got good grades pretty much just so I could play sports and show off. And
Right. And tell us now, okay, at what point were you approached? Did you just decide, I'm going to look into this? How did you get connected with people in the adult film industry?
When I was a young child, I was molested all the way up until I was 9 years old from someone close. Then we moved to Florida. It stopped. At the age of 16, something else happened. When I turned 17, I think that's where the big turnaround came on the decisions that I made in my life and the paths that I chose to take. I was raped by someone who was really close to me, and it completely changed me. 100%.
So you were pretty much devastated at a young age and introduced to sexual activity against your will at an early age, which I'm sure had scarred you.
A lot of impact. It was almost normal. It was so consistent in my life.
So you accepted it almost as,
Not so much as I accepted it, kind of like I expected things to continue to happen in my life.
I drive all over the county, so when I need regular maintenance or auto repairs, I come to Mariner Automotive. If you're looking for honest, dependable, friendly service, you can count on Mariner Auto Repair for all your automotive needs. Mariner Automotive is located at 5234 Mariner Boulevard, just south of Elgin Boulevard. You can't miss the big red and yellow building.
So Amber, tell us how you got involved into the adult film industry.
I didn't just jump into adult film. It slowly progressed to that point of my life. When I was 17, I was raped, which had a big influence on the paths that I decided to take. When I was 18, I decided to dance at a bikini bar. Before that, though, I did look for help. I did reach out to try and get justice from what happened to me, and I was told by someone else who was really close to me that it was my fault because I put myself in the situation. And then the investigator asked me if I'm just saying this because I did something that I regret, and I had the guy on the phone with the recorder connected to my phone with him admitting what he did to me. He cried, said that I'm really sorry that I did that to you after I confronted him, which I felt his sincerity from it. But I was told because he didn't say, I'm sorry that I raped you, that they couldn't do anything about it. So from there, that took a lot out of me, and I wasn't willing to do what was done, and I did what I felt I needed to do to get the help that I needed from it. It didn't come, so piece of respect dropped and morals dropped, and then...
So you were just 9 years old when that happened, right?
I was 17 years old when this happened.
Oh, this one.
Before that, yeah, before that had happened when I was maybe 2, 3.
So you were already set up basically for life to where you were just chipped away. Everything that happened to you that was negative just brought you further and further down to where, and again, you had already mentioned that like a lot of rape victims, they tell them, well, you must have done something to cause yourself to get raped. And it's just absolutely untrue. I mean, you...
Absolutely untrue. And, you know, you don't even want to say anything because you doubt that people will believe you anyway. So, that led me to my path at 18, decided to start dancing. And the money was an influence, too. Being able to be 18 years old, have a car and pay my insurance and go to school and still play football and play soccer. And
can you give us an idea of what kind of money we're talking about? I mean, people might want to know, like,
yeah,
what was the draw? How much was this?
at the bikini bar, I was making about $1,500 a week.
That's pretty good for a young girl.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good. And, I mean, it was stage dancing. I didn't do privates or lap dances. Then I went to Miami, and that's when stuff really started to hit on things that progressed in my life.
Well, Miami is really considered one of the hubs, you know, between Hollywood and Miami and New York.
I had no idea that pimps and hoes existed in real life until I went to Miami. I thought it was all a Halloween thing.
Wow. So this was a big culture shock for you.
It was a big culture shock, but I was welcoming to it. I danced then at a larger club, and it was full nude, and this girl approached me, one that I was already forewarned about to stay away from, was never told why or anything. She seemed very nice and genuine, and she approached me and asked me where I was staying. I told her I was staying in a hotel, and she asked me if I wanted to come out and see her place. She has extra bedrooms that I could pick from and stay in if I like it. So she told me she had 2 roommates. One was a guy, one was a girl. So I went to this place. I checked it out, met the roommates. Everyone was cool. And decided that I would go ahead and stay and I would move in. So they brought me back to the hotel. She brought me back to the hotel. And then I went back to their house with all of my belongings and picked the room that I wanted and setting it up and had my suitcase over to the side and switched. The guy came in and asked me how much money I had and took all of my money, which was about $2,000 at that time. Yeah.
So instantly you're thrown into this lifestyle that you had no idea was going to happen.
I had no idea what I had gotten myself into. I'm really scared, don't know how I'm going to get out of it. I'm out there with no vehicle, with no friends, with no family, with nobody to protect me or help me, no one to call. So I would go to work with the girls, realized that I got myself in a situation of pimps. And
you actually were involved into the prostitution for a while, is that right? Or no, you didn't?
No,
you did
I
not go
didn't.
that direction?
Okay, so I told them, I made them think that I was really loyal to what they had going on. All I did was danced. I did do those dances. I was making good money, and the pimp would call his other pimp friends and tell them how proud he was of me, how much money I was bringing in. And he came to my room one day and threw condoms on my bed and told me I need to start really getting to work.
And by work, he meant?
Prostituting. And I refused at this time within the 2 weeks. I made them think I was loyal. We came back here to Spring Hill and got my vehicle and got my dog, and then went back to Miami. And I drove to work by myself one night and talked to the manager who ran the club. I was crying, I was scared. I already heard from one of the girls how this guy had punched her in the nose, broke her nose, pushed her out of the vehicle, and she had to walk miles to the hospital. I only had $200. I only made $200 that night, and he told me to take my money. When the other 2 girls went up in a private, he told me to take my money and go home.
And so how did you, what brought you to California? How did you?
I came back here to get out of the pimp situation. The Wicked production girls approached me.
That's the name of one of the
It's the name of one of the
industry
companies.
Okay.
So they approached me and told me how much money I could be making and told me that I'm wasting my time. You know, the same old good pitch.
Right. And you're vulnerable still. This is
and
easy to talk you into it.
I'm 18 years old,
Right,
and I'm just
right.
feeling really good about all of this. So I got the number to the agents, and after some time, thought about it, not long, and called and went ahead and started doing go-sees, and you walk into a building.
A go-see, what is this? Is this a term that they use? in
Yeah,
that? Okay.
it's a go-see. You
Okay.
go see them.
Okay.
They see you. You walk into a building, and they don't care about you at all. You strip, you turn around, you put your clothes back on, and then they decide what movies they can use you for.
Wow.
So it's pretty much just a usage thing. But at this time, I didn't care that much because I had such a lack of respect for myself that
Right.
it was just
This was just another job for you. And
another job. Lights and hair and makeup and glamour and
So in some respects, it made you feel beautiful and desired?
at the beginning it did before I ever had a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my hair and makeup done, got tested first. Test came back, everything's good. Hair and makeup got done. And then the realness is coming. Like, I'm about to sleep with somebody that I don't know. I'm about to have it recorded.
That must have been a really scary moment right then when you knew it was just about to do this for the first time.
It
Right?
made my stomach turn. It made me feel a certain kind of way about myself. I guess I wasn't completely numb with my emotions because I could still feel today how it made me feel back then.
Mm-hmm.
And
That feeling never goes away, that horrible feeling.
it's like they say the first time that you do a drug, you never get that feeling. You know, that's the first time you get that
Mhm.
feeling. It's the
Mhm.
first impact. Well, I think it was the same thing with this. So I didn't. I was just gonna do the first shoot after feeling the way that I felt, and then it got aired, I guess. And the next day, my phone was blown up. Everybody knew. Everybody's saying stuff to me. Everybody's questioning me.
So the attention, now you're getting all this attention from people.
That I didn't plan on
Right,
getting.
right.
I didn't know my friends were perverts.
Was there ever a point that drugs became an issue with you?
In California,
Mhm.
yeah. Drugs didn't become an issue for me until about 8 months of me being into it. And I went from, it wasn't drugs, it was ecstasy.
Mhm.
And at the time, that's what would keep my boyfriend around. So
Right.
that's what we did.
Right. So did you feel like sometimes your profession at that time was just spilling over into your personal life, and that did you feel as if you were always working? Is that
Personal life. I don't think
Or
I
did you even
had
have
a
a personal
personal
life?
life.
Oh,
No, there was
okay.
nothing personal about my life at all.
okay?
But the work, doing the videos was really just work. It
Mhm.
wasn't pleasurable, enjoyable. I can't wait to work with this guy, or
Right.
I didn't even care what he looked like.
Mhm.
I'm there to work. It wasn't, I was willing, I was getting paid, I know what I'm in here for, and that was that. I felt like I had a sense of control over the situation that was happening.
Right.
And I needed that because nobody could take anything from me at that point.
So this self-control, or the control that you desired in life, which would normally come if you weren't subjected to abuse or rape as a child, maybe could have been used in better ways, but you're gaining this feeling of control because you're in control of your profession. You're in control of how you
I'm in
working and
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Had full control over everything, so I thought.
Mm-hmm.
After shooting for a while, I started looking at myself in the mirror and didn't like who I saw. It was like I was looking at another person,
Mhm.
and I was me and looking at another person in the mirror, and I would sit there and tell that girl in the mirror how ugly she was, how worthless she was, how she was never going to be anything, how she's a piece of crap. And I would just put her down every day. You face yourself every day.
Right.
And I put her down every day and tell her how much I hated her and you know, just everything. And every day, bam, 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 telling myself that I already have no respect for myself. I have numb feelings to every situation going on. I didn't know how to cry, I didn't know how to be happy. I was just
Did you
numb
ever have
there.
moments in a day, throughout a full day, that you felt good about yourself? When this was... No.
Nope, not since I was 17.
Mm-hmm. So you looked at yourself in the mirror every day, and this is what was there one single day that you said to yourself, "That's enough. I can't take anymore"?
After I faced myself so many times, and I went back to the mirror and saw that that girl was still strong enough to stand there in front of me and face me after me telling her all this horrible stuff, it made me see myself and see how strong I was and see that I am beautiful. And I looked at myself and completely changed myself. I told myself, you're beautiful, people can love you, respect yourself, love yourself, you know, and just get through this. And at that point in my life, I stopped doing adult entertainment, adult film. I completely stopped, and I loved the person that I was looking at, and I panhandled after that. I saw a cardboard, and I had a Sharpie, and I ripped the cardboard off, and I wrote on it, 22 years old, in need of help or work. So I was crying out. It was humiliating. I mean, I went right up the block from where I was staying.
Right.
So everybody knew my face.
Right.
Producers that I shot for actually stopped and was like, what are you doing? But I went and filled out applications for absolutely everything, and I don't know what it was. I got my interviews. I got to the general manager interview. Everything seemed to go great, and was told that I was going to be called, and nothing. So time's going by.
More disappointment, really, just more and more disappointment. But you had made that decision that you've had it with that, and panhandling was better. We felt better about yourself than any day on film.
I was going to support myself with whatever I had to do to get to where I needed to be in my life. My goal was to be that girl that I was when I was 16.
Amber, how long did it take you before you looked in the mirror and said that you want to change? You know, how long were you involved in the industry and doing the adult film industry?
From the adult entertainment into the adult film, started at 18 and ended at 22. To the people out there judging these girls like me or these guys, take a good hard look at yourself first and ask yourself, if you're judging them, if you were to be in front of them, ask yourself, would I want to help her get out? Or are you there supporting what's being done and judging it at the same time? Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Just because my mistakes are out of the closet for everyone to see doesn't mean that you don't have skeletons in the closet. So life is beautiful, life is short, and just make good choices. And if you happen to make bad choices, learn from them. Learn from them and move on. And if you have a story to tell that might have a message for somebody else, even if it's one person that you're helping, share your story, no matter how embarrassing it is or how hurtful it is for you. You could change someone's life. So I wish I had someone to share a story with me.
Well, your message is amazing, and I think it is going to touch some people out there who you may keep them from tipping one side or the other, or maybe they'll tip to the good side and not jump into something that's going to destroy them.
Yeah, the money comes easy. The money comes easy and it goes easy. It comes and it goes, and when the money's gone, you still have to live with yourself and with what you've gone through. And I will have to live with myself every day for the rest of my life, knowing what I've done, and it will always be out there for everybody to see.
But at least today, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm happy with who I am.
I love me.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I love my boyfriend, too.
Oh, hi boyfriend, yeah. All right, well, thank you, Amber.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.